Let me ask you a question by showing this picture. Can I just get a show of hands of how many of you might know what this picture is by any chance? Any show of hands? Okay. This was the first image uploaded onto the internet as we know it. And this was back in 1993. And it took them more than 6 hours to upload this one single picture. And this was uploaded back in Sweden. And I'll show you another picture. Okay. This is the same exact picture that we were able to generate using the latest 4.0 model from ChatGPT, right? It's been 30 years since we were able to just transfer data and information to be able to generate new information and new data. I'm going to take you through this journey of how we ended up here, but let me just paint a scenario, make a prediction right now. I predict that in the next 3 years, or rather in less than 3 years, you will not visit the internet as we know it. It will be a swarm of agents that each one of you will live with. Each one of you will carry a personalized AI that will be negotiating, buying, creating, and learning on your behalf with you as you exist. The websites and apps will just fade into the background. AI will take over. You will be working for AI, not the other way around. So friends, I'm going to prove this exact scenario true by taking you through my journey of how I started my startup career, my entrepreneurship career, my marketing career, and also prove to you that this exact prediction can actually come to life over the next 1 year with what I'm trying to build with Zoe, my product. All right. Before that, let me just walk you through the evolution of the internet through 4 phases. Web 1, slide please, which is just static pages where there was just information and that information was just being absorbed by users, being checked out by consumers, right? There was just information and data consumption and there was no data creation per se. That's Web 1 for you. Back in college in 2014, I was very fascinated by this. So I ended up creating a blog around physics. I was very fascinated by physics. So it was called Science Quotient. I put that on the web with some money given by my mom. It was supposed to be a stipend, which I used to buy hosting and domain. And I made 246 rupees that came in check from Google AdSense. And that check went right to my dad's address, my home address. And he was very, 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 very happy. So that was my first experience of how I ended up leveraging the first version of the internet. The second version, next, is read and write. As internet progressed, as data penetration, as internet permeated into our lives, we are also able to create data, create information, or rather transfer information and contribute to the internet through social media, through various forums, and so on. So in that particular phase, I was able to capture one commercial sense, one commercial use case for that particular internet. With that came the dynamism. People were able to click, people were able to engage with the internet, and that actually made me realize that, hey, there is some money to be made here, and e-commerce was the space that I was actually looking at. Because if pages become dynamic, if your clicks can do much more than just absorbing information and data, it could actually create a lot of impact, a high impact of commercial value. So I ended up starting up with this store, e-commerce store called Caspro. We were selling about 20 lakhs of merchandise, about 2 crores GMV within 2 years, and I sold that startup. That was my first exit, and that's how I leveraged the second version of the internet, read and write. The third one, let me just explain what the ownership aspect is here. Throughout the internet, till the point of we exploring consumer blockchain, right, which happened in 2016, 17, I realized back in 2019 that the data that we are able to generate and offer to the internet and contribute to the internet is not being incentivized appropriately or justly. We all contribute our data to the internet, but we don't really get incentivized for it. We don't get the incentive, we don't get to monetize that information, that data justly or at least proportionately. So I thought there is one space where we spend a lot of time, where we generate a lot of value, economy, which is gaming. But we don't get to own a part of that economy. And that's how I ended up building this startup called Soul Games. It was a GameFi project built on blockchain, on Solana blockchain, where users and developers can create games, play the games, contribute to the game economy, and also earn rewards and incentives, creating a just environment for everyone in the ecosystem. That was my third wave application of the third version of the internet, the read, write, and ownership execution internet. And the next version is the agentic web. Now imagine all three versions put together. There is still a lot of human in the loop. Humans still have to execute and act on a lot of this stuff for this to happen and for the economy to function. And that's when the agentic web came into play. The large language models, as we know them, existed. And that's when I realized that if these three internets were to come together and be automated at planet scale, this could be economy changing and world changing for better. That's when I realized read, write, ownership / execute could actually be automated, leading to the fourth version of the internet. With dynamic UIs, with probabilistic UIs, with a sense of you being able to add value to the ecosystem at scale without you having to be present there and manually pulling on these tasks is what actually makes this agentic AI come to life. And this is something that I'm really looking forward to. And this exact space is where I'm in right now, where I'm building this app called Zoe that does something very similar. But let me ask you this, right? What actually led to this taking place, like happening in the first place, right? I mean, this is supposed to be happening way ahead of time, maybe if I were to say that. But everything that I just spoke about, the agentic web, is too real. So, bunch of examples. One, Cursor. This app basically was the first SaaS app, the fastest SaaS app that could reach 100 billion in revenue. And this happened with just a wrapper built on top of an LLM, right? And that's crazy. The advent of MCP, Model Context Protocol. This was launched by Anthropic last year. This is basically a standard like HTTPS that lets you build agents, that lets you create multi-agent orchestration, that helps data be transferred between multiple agents and also be coordinated in a way that creates more agents and more tasks and more workflows are executed. Before, it just used to be that multiple APIs need to be connected separately, individually, but now it's almost like a USB-C type where you could just plug and play all the APIs, all the tooling, all the webhooks into one single entity. And that is what's going to relay all the information in real time, building these real-time dynamic agents through MCP. That's just another example. Next. Okay, let me ask you if any of you have seen this movie. Okay. This movie came in the year 2013. Can you guess when this movie was set up, like in the movie itself? This movie was set up in 2025. This was supposed to happen in 2025. So this movie is basically about a lonely guy romantically involved with an AI operating system. And that was supposed to be happening in this year. And this movie came in 2013. So this actually is a reality, guys. We are just at the beginning of this whole agentic curve. The AGI is coming, and we are not even 3 or 4% maybe into this whole curve. So there is a huge opportunity that you guys can actually get involved with, be part of the agentic economy as you know it and as we are building it and as we are seeing it unfold. And it's just the beginning, and I think the next 3 years is going to be so very fascinating. Any of you know what this painting is, like what this portrait is? Can any of you relate? So this is the creation of Adam. This is a painting where God is giving life to the first man. So I believe that we have given life to the first ever agent. And I think it's time for us to harness it, start living with it, and accepting that we all coexist and make the most of it. Thank you so much. That's my talk.